Have you ever wondered why some people rise effortlessly while others exhaust themselves in constant struggle? Why a few individuals seem to move through life with calm clarity, while many others fight endlessly for validation, advantage, and control? The ancient teaching, not competing is the highest wisdom, is not an invitation to weakness. It is an invitation to a deeper power, one that operates beyond noise, beyond ego, and beyond the frantic need to outshine others. True clarity begins when we stop asking, how can I win over others, and start asking, what truly needs to be won? Life is full of battles that appear important but lead nowhere, arguments that drain our spirit, comparisons that warp our self-worth, and competitions that cost us far more than we gain. Many people live as though the world is a vast arena, believing that every moment must be a contest. But the wise know that stepping aside is not surrender. It is strategy. It is vision. It is mastery. To not compete does not mean to retreat from life or abandon ambition. It means choosing the battles that matter, and more importantly, choosing the state of mind with which you walk through them. When the heart is constantly fighting, it cannot see. When the mind is always comparing, it cannot grow. The ancient sages observed that the fiercest storms occur inside those who insist on winning every moment. And yet the quiet ones, those who are calm, centered, and unbothered, often move further, faster, and more gracefully than the loudest competitors. Because competition is exhausting, but clarity is unstoppable. The person who does not compete outwardly can compete inwardly with their own limitations, their own impulsiveness, their own ignorance. This is the competition that produces greatness, the competition with the self. When you no longer waste strength fighting others, you can direct all your energy toward improving your craft, deepening your understanding, and strengthening your character. And once you master these inner domains, the outer world naturally aligns in your favor. Think of water. It never competes. It never forces its way, and yet it wears down stone, reshapes mountains, nourishes life, and reaches the ocean without tension. Water wins by not insisting on winning. It advances by remaining soft. Its quietness is its might. Its humility is its power. This is the image the ancient masters used to describe the highest form of wisdom, a strength that does not shout, a presence that does not demand, a victory that requires no violence. People who never stop competing lose their peace, and once peace is lost, clarity follows, judgment weakens, and decisions become reactive instead of wise. They respond to life with urgency, not understanding. But those who embrace non-competition hold the advantage of seeing clearly. They can pause when others panic. They can move when others hesitate. They can observe when others overreact. In that quiet space, wisdom speaks. The world is noisy with people trying to prove themselves, but the ones who truly succeed are often those who no longer feel the need to prove anything. They are anchored in purpose, not comparison. They choose direction, not distraction. They choose depth, not display. And because of that, they rise without announcement. Not competing is not about stepping back from the world. It is about rising above its chaos. It is about conserving energy for what truly matters. It is about holding your center so firmly that no external noise can push you off balance. When you understand this, you stop being pulled into every argument, every challenge, every invitation to conflict. You no longer respond to provocation because you understand that reacting is not the same as winning. True wisdom is quiet. True power is calm, and true victory is achieved not by defeating others, but by not allowing the world to disturb your mind. When you are no longer compelled to compete, you finally become free to grow.
True wisdom often expresses itself quietly, without the need for applause, confrontation, or proving one's superiority. When the ancients said, "Not competing is great wisdom," they were not suggesting passivity, weakness, or surrender, but a profound understanding of how life actually works. Those who refuse to enter meaningless contests are not afraid to lose. They simply refuse to waste their life force on battles that offer no real benefit. This mindset is a philosophy of clarity, self-mastery, and long-term vision. At its core, not competing means choosing where your energy should go. Life presents endless invitations to conflict: arguments, status games, comparisons, ego battles. Yet, only a few of them genuinely matter. A wise person sees through the noise. They understand that true power lies not in defeating others, but in mastering themselves. When you know your direction, you no longer need to prove anything. You no longer feel threatened by another person's success, opinion, or provocation. Your sense of worth comes from within, not from comparison. This principle teaches discernment. There are situations where stepping back is not cowardice, but intelligence. Not losing, but preserving energy. Not retreating, but focusing on what truly matters. When one stops reacting to every external challenge, they begin directing life on their own terms. The wisest individuals are those who choose their battles with precision. They do not fight small fights, nor do they invest emotions into trivial matters. Instead, they let pettiness dissolve on its own, saving strength for goals that align with purpose. Not competing also nurtures inner peace. Each unnecessary conflict you avoid is a burden lifted from your heart. When you stop fighting for validation, stop arguing with those unwilling to understand, stop comparing your pace to others, you begin to live lightly. You create space for thinking, learning, and growing. Life becomes more spacious. The mind becomes clearer. Stress diminishes, replaced by quiet confidence. Such peace is not accidental. It is crafted through deliberate restraint. Moreover, the refusal to compete often leads to unexpected advantages. When you stop pushing aggressively, people lower their defenses. When you stop proving yourself, you gain the freedom to improve yourself. When you stop chasing every opportunity, the right opportunities come to you. The sages understood this. Water does not compete with stone, yet over time, it shapes mountains. Softness conquers hardness, not by force, but by persistence and clarity of direction. This philosophy also encourages a deeper understanding of timing. Many failures come not from lack of strength, but from acting at the wrong time, rushing into battles before the moment is right. A person who does not compete mindlessly can see the bigger picture. They observe, wait, and choose the precise moment to act. And when they finally act, their effort is efficient, grounded, and impactful. In this way, non-competition becomes a form of strategic patience. To live without unnecessary competition is to prioritize long-term growth over short-term victories. You stop measuring life by wins and losses. Instead, you measure it by alignment with your values, your peace, your purpose. This is why the wisest individuals often appear calm while others rush. They know that life is not a race, it is a path. And the one who walks steadily, without distraction, ultimately goes further than the one who keeps looking sideways. Finally, not competing teaches respect for yourself and for others. When you are no longer obsessed with proving that you are right, better, or stronger, you open space for empathy. You see people clearly, without the haze of comparison. Relationships become healthier because they are no longer battles of ego. Work becomes more meaningful because it is no longer a scoreboard. Life becomes more authentic because you live according to your inner compass, not society's noise. In this quiet philosophy, there is extraordinary strength. The strength to choose wisely, the strength to conserve energy, the strength to act only when necessary, the strength to let go of battles that do not deserve your attention, the strength to walk your path without being dragged into the chaos around you. That is the essence of great wisdom. Not competing where competition is meaningless, and dedicating your heart only to what truly matters.
There comes a point in every person's life when they must choose between proving themselves and protecting their inner peace, between chasing every conflict and mastering the quiet strength of stepping aside. Ancient sages believed that true greatness is not found in winning arguments, but in mastering oneself. And at the heart of that mastery lies the principle, non-competition is the highest form of wisdom. To understand this, we must look deeper than the surface meaning. Non-competition does not mean weakness. It does not mean surrender. It does not mean allowing others to step over us. Instead, it represents a state of mind in which a person is so complete, so grounded, and so inwardly abundant that they no longer need to prove their worth through confrontation. They no longer feel compelled to win every battle. They no longer measure success by comparison. A person who no longer competes is not avoiding the world. They have outgrown the world's noise. Think of water. Soft, gentle, yielding, yet capable of overcoming mountains. Water does not fight obstacles. It flows around them. It dissolves them. It finds a path through stillness rather than confrontation. The sages often compared great individuals to water for this very reason. Those who do not compete cannot be defeated, because they refuse to play in the arena where ego battles ego. Likewise, when a person stops competing out of insecurity, something profound shifts inside them. They gain clarity. They gain spaciousness. They gain time to focus on their goals, their values, their transformation, instead of wasting energy on meaningless rivalries. Life becomes lighter. Decisions become cleaner, relationships become healthier, and opportunities appear more naturally because one is no longer clouded by resentment or rivalry. When you cease competing with others, you finally have the strength and the space to compete with the only opponent that truly matters, yourself. Those who embrace non-competition often rise higher while seeming to do less. They conserve energy for the battles that matter. They understand that timing, wisdom, and inner equilibrium often determine success more than force or aggressiveness. They see that sometimes the path forward is not through the front door, but through the quiet gate that everyone else overlooked. This is why ancient thinkers said, "The wise avoid the struggle because they see beyond it. The unwise enter every struggle because they only see the moment." True wisdom lies in discernment, knowing which battles deserve your energy and which only drain you without reward. Many fall because they fight blindly. Few rise because they choose wisely. And yet the greatest power of non-competition is not external, it is spiritual. When your heart is no longer turbulent, when your mind is no longer trapped in comparison, and when your peace is no longer shaped by the actions of others, you reach a state that cannot be shaken by applause or criticism. You become internally sovereign. Imagine a life where your attention returns to your craft, your growth, your purpose, your inner development. Imagine no longer being triggered by provocation, no longer consumed by the need to prove yourself, no longer distracted by the noise of comparison. That level of focus alone can elevate your entire destiny. This is the final lesson. Non-competition is not the absence of power, it is the mastery of it. And for anyone walking the path of self-growth, this principle is not just a philosophy to admire, it is a discipline to practice. Every day, life will present you with moments where you must choose: react or rise, compete or transcend, fight for ego or protect your peace. The choice you make shapes the person you become. And if this message resonates with you, then let today be the moment you begin practicing non-competition. Not as avoidance, but as evolution. Not as surrender, but as strength. Choose your battles with wisdom, protect your peace with intention, and build your life with clarity, presence, and depth. And if you want to continue exploring ancient philosophy, inner mastery, and the art of living with calm power, follow this journey, subscribe, and stay with me. Together, we will go deeper into the timeless teachings that shape a stronger, clearer, and more grounded version of yourself.